Welcome back to the channel. This is Football Temple brought to you by Azar Studios. What is Pep Guardiola cooking? After City's failure last season, where of course they finished behind Liverpool and Arsenal in the Premier League, crashing out in the knockout phases of the Champions League and failing to win the FA Cup, which they reached the final, losing to Crystal Palace. Pep is not slowing down and he spent well over 100 million already in the transfer market with 4 new players ahead of the Club World Cup. Temple Gist brought to you by Azar Studios on Kanisam and the Bishop joins me as we look at what Pep is cooking in the kitchen, including 2 new coaches to his backroom staff. Ryan Aït-Nouri from Wolverhampton Wanderers joined Manchester City ahead of the Club World Cup. We know his exploit with Wolverhampton Wanderers, arguably one of the best fullbacks in the English Premier League last season. Tijjani Reijnders, of course, one of the names called from former Super Eagles player Tijjani Babangida. The Dutch international has also joined Manchester City from AC Milan. And of course, Marcos Bettinelli, a goalkeeper who has also joined on free transfer from Chelsea. And not forgetting Chekri. Also joining the French midfielder from Olympique Lyon. 4 players, interesting players. What is Pep Guardiola cooking? Okani-san, Pep no one here. You no one hear anything.
No, I think here is it right. Success brings freedom. Freedom does a lot for you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, success brings freedom.
It's a quote. How do you put it down?
It's a quote. We'll extract that quote.
Yeah.
I will use that Monday motivation.
Years of success is what we're seeing right now. Chelsea can do that right now. You know that, right?
They can't. No, they can't.
Because Chelsea wish to be doing that. They're going to the World Club and they want to go give a very
And the
good
best they can
representation.
get.
They got
of
the
themselves.
lap.
The lap.
Because that's the best they can get right now because of PSR. But with Pep, he did it in January. That's midsummer. I mean, mid-season transfer, and he's doing the same thing
again.
Now, here's the simple truth, right? He's to success, and he wants to continue succeeding. Remind me of what he did in 2017, right?
Yeah.
After his first season, where he let go practically everything. Bakary Sagna, Kolarov,
It was
Zabeleta. He changed everything about.
I think he also stylishly pushed out Joe.
Joe Hart went on loan. That was his
Push
last
out,
year. Yeah,
yes.
practically.
Said almost 8 or 9 players. There was this Nolito,
push
you understand?
out, yes.
And Neves,
Neves,
and so many of them. He did that. And he did the same
Dzeko,
thing.
pull them
Yeah,
out.
so he's doing the same thing. Now, why is he doing that? Because years of success give him that listen. Make so much money, they're not scared of the pace, they can spend
Yeah,
players around them.
into the
And
deep,
so that's what success does to you. And that's one aspect. Because he's doing this because they are not on the verge of breaking that pace rule.
Absolutely.
Amazing, right? On the other side, there's a team that are used to.
Winning silverwares. Somehow, miraculously, they couldn't win one last year because it was a miracle.
Yeah.
Not winning a silverware last season.
Because getting to the FA Cup final.
I mean, get to the World Cup final. Yeah. So,
winning.
I mean, now this is a miracle on the other side. You know, on the negative side, because it was a miracle that they couldn't win anything. On a normal day, they were supposed to win. They couldn't win, and it was clear that, look, this is not us.
The squad is not good enough.
No, this is not us. It's not about injury to Rodri. It's not about anything. The squad is not good enough. We need to let go certain people, and we need to start doing things afresh. Then, pop, hit the ground running again. And the good thing is,
Look at how he's buying these guys. He knows what he's buying, and you know why.
Yeah,
he
the thing
did
that
it.
went down before the end of the season and just by one after the other.
Chekri
One after the
is
other.
on a free transfer.
He's not going to pay a dime on Chekwi apart from the normal transfer fee to him.
For Aït-Nouri, one of the best. I've been talking about Aït-Nouri for years right now, sincerely speaking. I know he's as good as the
From
Mendes.
Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Yes, he's as good as the Mendes we're talking about right now. Is that wonderful? Because he's playing for an average team, nobody gets to see. Yeah,
No,
that
Chekri
good.
was brought for 36.5 million
million.
from Lyon.
Yeah.
You had to pay
No, but he's on.
36.5 from Lyon.
It was have been his final year.
Okay, he's okay. He's not on a free.
Just had to pay.
I know
Okay,
he's
he
free.
opted.
I know he's
Okay,
free.
I know he's free. Oh,
but
that's why I'm
Chekri was
getting
already
yeah,
boxed
yeah.
straight into
But
the door.
they equally pay the transfer fee to
Yeah.
Aït-Nouri, I think, and that money goes to him directly.
Yes,
If I'm not mistaken,
absolutely,
yeah,
straight to him.
for an amount. And
It's
there's another
bank
person that
account.
they bought that you didn't talk about.
But-
Is it £9 or £9 that they send him on loan? They just bought him
I
yesterday.
know that one is just
The
that one is
the Norwegian wonder
futuristic
kid now.
buy, yeah.
This Arsenal we
Wepa.
talked about him. So that's just by the way. Now,
He wants to just get his act right and wants to get it out. Right.
very fast. Now, this is a team that is going to the Club World Cup as the highest. I mean, the team that's going to receive the highest participation fee.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't just go there and just for going sake. No, it must count. I mean, they must justify where they're going there, and they've seen their loopholes. They know what is not good in that team. They're trying to, do everything possible to tackle practically everything, and they're doing it on time. Guess what? They might not come back and start buying players again. No, probably might.
This might be the end that we see them buy play, and this is what I love. Look, if you want to buy on time.
Get it done on time. You know what you want. Why dragging your feet? Why dilly-dallying? What do you want to achieve by doing that?
The transfer
Now,
is over.
no,
it
nah,
will be open.
the first
Man
1 days.
City is over. They've done their job.
Yeah, they've done, and they did an
they've
amazing
covered-
job. So you
absolutely.
tell yourself 2 things works here: that financial freedom, then that hunger and thirst
To
for
return back to
success.
the top, yeah.
You understand? That's just what works. I'm funny, not that they've actually even done. I mean, the difference between Arsenal that finished second is just 3 points. If I'm not mistaken, just 3 points. So if there were probably 1 or 2 more games, they might not even finish ahead of Arsenal.
Their best season is still that close to Arsenal. The one when Arsenal had the best season, they were far off these guys.
So we're close to championship. Yeah.
Pep knows what he's doing. He knows he has. I mean, contract extended already.
Him, I think since last year, so he has a new lease of life, and he needs to make it count. He needs to justify why they. I mean, he's the longest having manager right now in the Premier League, 8 years, and he's still counting.
Yeah.
So he doesn't want to give anything a chance, and I give that to him. And this is how clubs supposed to be operated. And funny enough, probably they see what their counterpart in what they, because I mean, whether I like it or not, from the same country, their owners talking about PSG, they see what they're doing. They're like, you know what, these guys
stop
can't
them.
just we
Yes.
need to. So amazing deal so far, amazing job
For
so
me,
far.
man, let's give kudos to Pep. You know, the names and the quality of the players is signing.
No, I had issue with the quality of the players. Sincerely speaking, Reijnders is one guy that I highly
Guardiola will
rate.
pick a player that will suit his style. And what
Yeah,
about
that does it.
He has
And
the
they'll play
body
to their
that can
strength.
get him the player
So,
that will suit his
He
style.
picked players that suit his style.
Yeah.
He's picked
Enori.
the Belgian boy. I'm trying to remember his name. The one that runs
Jeremy
on the wing.
Doku.
He's struggling. No, we make it look. No, okay. Let's bring it. Before
Aside
you go,
him,
no, so-
aside
no, no.
him,
Before we
don't
go,
even go
now,
too far.
He's
You're
gone.
calling, no, before you say something.
Nico Gonzalez is still struggling.
Aside from Nico Gonzalez, let's even go back. Grealish.
No,
Grealish that he paid for.
No,
you
Grealish is
understand?
a different. Grealish is
Just English
is a
problem.
foregone entity.
He bought them all
Let's
now. He
leave
bought
it
them
because-
all.
Now let's look at it from
Yeah.
January.
Yeah.
Now Pep is now almost getting to the 300 million mark.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, from
Yeah,
January
yeah.
till now.
Yeah.
Now Kushanov,
7
Nico,
players, or 8 players, I
Mamouche,
think.
And
You
now
know,
this
In-
for-
all
in
came
January.
in January.
And 4 players in January. 4 players.
Heavy fees.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, heavy fees.
The top
And you've now gone to the transfer market.
To pay 2 heavy fees for Chekri and of course Tijjani Reijnders, which for me I think AC Milan have made huge
Huge
money.
money, I don't-
55
yeah.
million euros is a huge
But
amount
it's
of
a
money.
gamble.
Money, yeah.
Because
But
for a player who I don't think is even AC Milan's best player.
Not at all.
No, I think like
To be
said,
honest,
it was a gamble.
So you
And I
can
don't
see.
think he's
It's a
even. And I
gamble,
don't think Tijjani
but
Reijnders
yeah.
is a world-class player.
Not
Neither
at
is he a superstar.
Not at all.
He's an average player who will just probably step up to a
let me
good
now-
team
let me
called
now- let me now
Man
explain
City.
to you what Pep does. See, I've gotten to a point in life where I trust what Pep Guardiola is doing.
Don't
No,
trust him with your life.
No, I'm doing no such thing. Rodri, when he came, question mark whether what he's going to bring to the team, he's sluggish, he's slow with the physicality. Now, and boy, but look at what he's become in less than 2-3 years. So,
A Ballon d'Or
it's,
winner.
it's about what Guardiola does to a player. The job he does is
But he does not work with everybody. That's what we're trying to say
exactly.
here.
And that's why he said he wants a slim squad. He told
No,
them
no.
clearly that if he play, he
Who
wants.
has he worked for in the last?
He
in the
told them
last
this
1
season
year?
that he wants a
Which
slim
Which
squad.
player has he worked for in the last 1 year? That he's brought in. Now, I will not say.
Grealish had a good time before it
What
went
good
no
time?
time.
Grealish,
When they won the
Grealish
treble,
never lived up to
No, so
expectation.
he
Grealish-
Not
played
at all.
when they won the
The
treble.
Grealish-
it
No,
was
no,
even-
no,
wow,
no,
wow.
no,
Now
no.
let's
He won a
let's call the
treble
boys
in
some
a-
slouch.
He won a treble in a
Yeah.
good City side. It was not.
Did you see what he
his
brought to the
impact was
table?
not
Impact
felt.
was not that
Did you
much.
see?
At all.
Did you see what he brought to the table?
What did he bring?
In short, he was the table.
What table?
Chances created,
How many
passes he
goals?
made.
Grealish went
Goals.
the entire 1 year with the entire calendar year.
That was before the
Okay, let's
no,
assume
no, no,
Grealish was good in his first year. What happened in the second year?
That's what I'm saying.
Foden that was good. What has
For
happened
the,
to Foden?
that's what I'm, it's the English.
Foden was a
I
pro
don't
profi.
I don't want to talk about the
Okay,
English
here is
problem.
it, right?
Let's talk about
Doku.
players.
No, so get something right.
Okay.
Amazing coach, I agree with that completely. And my argument with him every time, any day, anywhere, on any platform is, aside the money, he's not as amazing as we think he is. That's my argument on Pep. Any day, anytime.
The money makes him
Well, I've
amazing.
seen people that have had the money and
You
they
make-
couldn't do
yeah,
it. But,
simple.
but,
So now you're talking.
but aside the money,
Take the money, give you an Arsenal side of
He will not make it tough for
simple. Now that's one side, right? We're saying even with how amazing he has actually been, he has made some bad signing. That's
Why not?
simple. So don't always feel like
He's Superman.
and
Not
that's
Superman.
why we're questioning Tijjani Reijnders. Because for us, he is not. If you're trying to
So let's
now, listen to that.
let's
no,
flashlight.
no, let me just say something.
Okay.
he's going to replace a De Bruyne.
Tijjani.
He's supposed to be a replacement for
What would Frank? What
Kevin
would
De Bruyne.
rank? Check it then do.
Well, still going to be there. Okay, so he's buying 2 players to replace 1 player?
Maybe. That's what money can do.
Well,
But I keep
that's,
telling.
so here is it right.
Yeah.
Amazing coach, right? But we're saying
Signing Tijjani Reijnders when you have checked already.
Yeah.
Probably
Doesn't make
it wasn't necessary.
footballing sense.
Doesn't
But
make
it's still
sense.
Pep Guardiola.
It's
Look at
probably,
it.
and
Look at
so
it.
now
Okay.
you are with that, right? Guess what he's doing right now? He's letting their squad.
Because
For the Club World
Reinders
Cup.
plays as a DM or a central
Central
Yeah.
midfielder.
Now, let's
You have good ones.
Is it
No, no,
or is it?
age.
is
I am
it
even trying to get at
protecting
something.
Rodri.
I
If
mean,
it's not back to what it used to
see,
be.
I'm trying to get at something right. Let me just finish it right.
Yeah.
You said you want a slim squad, right?
Yeah.
In the last
He said he wants
5,
to
6, 7 months, you've bought 8, 9 players already.
He will let go of
Now,
so many.
How many are you going to let go? How many will terminate their contract? How many, you understand? How will you flush them out? Not like the other time that the book of the other guys left at the other side that you let go at the other
Yeah,
side. And the only person you extended his contract the other time was here, Torre,
Yeah,
right?
Torre, yes.
Because others their contract was almost expiring.
was
So you
expired.
just,
But
you
in
just
this
let them
case,
see
how
that.
many of these guys? Grealish contract is not about to expire, and Grealish is on a high pay, and Grealish is not going to
He's
the
even
Club World
fending
Cup.
off Sutton because of his salary wages.
And that's it.
And Grealish is not going to the Club World Cup, and there's been issue of I don't know how true is it. I don't know how with Grealish. You understand?
But I'll be depressed.
So I think in an attempt to get certain things right, I think
He's making a very big mistake because how many guys are you going to let go?
So
How many
what
guys are you
I'm
going to
saying
let
is
go?
that he should have let some players leave
You
first.
should have allowed certain guys to
And
go
then before
first.
he
I mean,
starts-
with what we've done in January,
But he
allow
wants
the
to go to
caution
the
of.
Club World Cup and make a statement.
Does he have that time to
I
start
mean, being
putting
guys
on-
that's going to receive the highest participation fee, what do you
Yeah.
expect? And they are getting that money because they want they want this in 2020.
right.
Yeah, Champions
Then
League.
they went ahead and won the last club
World Cup.
yeah.
So for me, at the end of the day, let's give them.
But let's
let's
stick
see.
with Randers now. So
Let's see.
good enough for City squad for the City squad.
Personally, I don't fancy him. You know that already. But I've learned one thing to trust Pep and wait for him to see. I wait for him to fail. You know, I'm one of those who was telling you when Doku came, you were able to say trust. I said after watching him 4-5 years, this guy won't stay long because he's a direct player and Pep doesn't play direct football.
Okay,
and we've seen that.
Okay, Doku
So-
aside, right?
Yeah,
How about the Brazilian guy that came last season?
the Brazilian guy.
Yeah, the Brazilian guy.
Savinho.
Savinho.
He had his-
What are you going to say about
He
him?
had his good time. He had his bad time. He's white young. He will
Now,
learn.
see.
But I don't know. Let's see. The quality of the players is more
No,
about Tijjani
see,
Reijnders
there's
are
an
top
amount
quality
of money you
players.
pay for a player, right? And
Yeah.
you're not going to tell me that he has a good time. Or
Savinho is a young player now, very young player.
If Lamine, Nico Gonzalez, Nico Williams, Pedri are doing what they're doing, and
This has happened once in a while.
They didn't just bring in players. They brought in 2 coaches also.
Wow.
Leanders, of course, and James. I think James French.
Yeah.
One set piece
I
coach
thought-
Yes, French.
into the team.
Leader
Now,
assistant
it's
coach.
not just bringing players.
He's also bringing coaches.
I think the big.
Let me put it this way.
Okay.
So his player begin to get confused.
I
And
think
he needs
so.
somebody to think for him.
Now here is
Because
it right.
let's
no,
look at
but
it.
see,
Last
see,
season was a
Some
disaster.
players from his backup staff also
See.
left now.
See,
Let's do it.
see,
He
here
has
is
to-
it
He
right.
has to have a backup staff.
After spending that year, I think not winning a trophy has
Okay.
really confused him.
Okay.
That's where the problem is coming from. You're used to winning. No matter what, you end up with something. This time around, you didn't end up with anything. You had one of your worst seasons. It's normal to be unsettled. You can even see it even from the way he behaves on the
On
touchline.
the touchline, yeah, sometimes.
You can so sincerely speaking, he's rattled right now, and he's trying to do everything possible to get everything right. And so, I mean, let's see if it's going to work. But for now, what I would like you to know, there's confusion in Pep.
But the quality of the coaches are not bad. Rangers and the French were part of the Liverpool
I saw
team
somewhere that even
won the
Kolo Toure is
treble
there.
under.
I don't know how true is that.
No.
Kolo Toure is
Both of
there.
them won the treble with that's the treble. Yeah, with the double with a certain Jurgen Klopp. They were the ones helping Jurgen Klopp to fight where
were helping.
his boxing team. You know, those days when Liverpool made the Premier League more interesting. But again, whenever we want to get the best, and when I saw the news, I was like, wow, how would
Simple
Liverpool
is
fans
the
feel?
simple truth is this, right? He wants to win at all costs.
He has
He
to
doesn't
win.
want to leave any.
I think with what he
stone
spent
unturned.
in the transfer, he must win the Club World Cup.
$200 million in.
Nobody has done. Nobody
pounds
did that.
in-
Nobody did that.
Well, talking about the Club World Cup, there's no Jack Grealish for
Jack Grealish,
Manchester
yeah.
City. He's been left out of City squad to the Club World Cup.
He's crying blue blood and he's not happy. And
Justified. Justified.
Come on, man. We will play Grealish in a proper tournament. He'll be part of the team.
You just said
He's not
Grealish had a
bad.
good season.
No, I think he had a bad season last season, but I'm saying he had his good time.
How many seasons has Grealish been there?
Three seasons.
3. So how many
The
of
first season
3
was
is?
astronomical, and there was like a nosedive, free fall from the heavens. And that's why I would never blame Pep Guardiola for dropping him, because I look at the players there, who's going to stop?
He barely played the game. Even Savinho will complain that he's not consistent. Jago
He's better than
Doku
him.
played better than him when they were
Yeah.
given the chance. So,
So-
Grealish, English issue, English problem. I can write an epistle. Trust me. Textbook,
I
a
hate when we tell him
project.
it's English problem.
It's
If individual failed to perform, I wouldn't.
Is it a
See,
culture
don't
issue?
think- It's not a culture. Individual, because we've seen English players too that have actually done
That have
very
thrived,
well.
yeah.
The Postcodes of this war, the Rooney of this
They all
war,
did
the
well.
Ferdinand. They never, you understand, they were
They
consistent.
were at that level and remain at the
They
level.
were stars.
Grealish
So-
was fantastic with Villa,
Can we,
went to City.
can we now say the
struggled,
money, too much money makes a man go wild?
makes
Individual
Grealish
issue.
go wild.
Individual issue.
Now, let's stop generalizing this English. No, it's not English. We've seen Spanish players that actually struggle.
Oh, yes.
We've seen those.
But that's a microscopic view.
We've seen French players. Most of
Fernando Torres.
French players that actually.
He doesn't have his good time, because Chelsea.
So it's not
Grealish had a good time.
It's an
Aston Villa.
individual thing. See, I just believe everything is not a few with an individual. Look, when you have everything right, condition, everything okay. Come on, he felt to perform.
Funny enough, he can't even walk out because, like you said, the salary is huge. Clubs are coming, but they can't meet
You
up.
need to find time to even go and spend that money. Now, if they pay that kind of money, you don't go find time to spend that money.
Where?
Will you be training every day? You go find time. Why that? So what do you want to do with the money? Why?
They're not playing. When time Tuesday is on the off here, two
must enter, regardless of whatever happens.
Happy man.
But we're going to see how Pep Guardiola, of course, tinker this team. Good signings. Of course, by Onkani Sam and also. However, there's a question mark on Tijjani Reijnders transfer. If 55 million for a player with an AC Milan team who struggled in the Serie A, and of course did not even qualify for Europe entirely, is what City should be playing for. But Pep has got his man. Kevin De Bruyne has left the club, and they need that replacement. Bernardo Silva is also easing out of Manchester City, and they probably need a long-term replacement with Chekri, and of course Reijnders in that squad. Rodri is back, so City will have all of these players available for the Club World Cup. Will his cooking be good enough to win the Club World Cup? Only time will tell. Football Temple brought to you by Azar Studios.